Alright, coming back to Hollow Knight after like a week of not playing it. Time to see if my skills have deteriorated to the point where I'm going to do even worse than my last few attempts. Hopefully not, because this is, after all, the pattern I'm hoping to continue on into the future. Okay, come on, hold on a moment. It would help if I clicked into the game window. Alright, so we're about 55 minutes in. Fungal Wastes just beat Mantis Lords. I think we were heading to the City of Tears next. We're going to just kind of keep doing a similar sort of route to what we've been doing in previous attempts. Oh yeah, right there. So now we're just gonna get out, collect all the stuff we can. Might as well get all this Geo too. We're gonna want this. Cause I think, yeah, we're just gonna, like I said, gonna be more of the same really. A lot of running around the City of Tears. Only major difference I can think of is if I can remember where to get that simple key, which I think I do. I can save some money by not buying it from Sly, which might, depending on when I decide to do things, that might end up. Hold on a second. Oh, I just haven't gotten any maps at all yet. Okay, that's why I can't open the map. I might be able to get like the Lumafly lantern or something. Just get something else useful with the Geo I'm saving from not buying the key. It'll depend on exactly how much we've got when we get there, but that's for the future. For now, we're just gonna keep moving. Until we get up to the city. Need to keep moving generally upwards. I kind of want to attack some of the mantises just to get a bit of soul, but that's probably not going to actually help me much, because then it's probably just a bigger risk than necessary, and this is Steel Soul, where we don't really need to take unnecessary risks, or where we don't benefit from taking unnecessary risks. That's, you know, they're unnecessary. Whew. So after this, we go, after we get Desolate Dive, it's, oh, whoops, didn't mean to read the sign there. After grabbing Desolate Dive, probably just head to Crystal Peak. What's up here? Oh yeah, soul. We'll collect it. So yeah, I am going for the speedrun achievement. Don't really need to worry too much about time though, because the limit for speedrun 2 is like 5 hours, and speedrun 1 is, I think, I want to say 10. But mainly, honestly, I mainly just want to finish a run. I want to not die to something dumb. Or to Broken Vessel again. So for now, avoid you guys. Also, I'm also going to want to unlock the city storeroom stag station, I think. So it'll be helpful to have fast travel available. Oh, hello there. Whoops. Unfortunately, while I'd like to minimize backtracking, just to save time, since I do want that second nail upgrade, I am gonna have to backtrack to Crystal Peak at some point, because I'm gonna want to get up to Hallownest's Crown for the Pale Ore. I don't think there's... Because there are... I can't think of any better options for getting ore than by... than through Hallownest's Crown. Because I don't think there's any other just freestanding ore. That's Mark of Pride. Yeah, I only got Mark of Pride. That's my other charm. I know you can get one from the Colosseum of Fools, but that requires, that's, I believe, the second trial, which means you have to I'd have to clear the first one and the second without dying, which is, I mean, they're not super hard, but it's an unnecessary risk, I think. And I think Seer will give you one if you have a lot of essence, but to get that we would have to we'd have to go like fight Dream Warriors and stuff, which would not be good for timing, but it is doable because dying in a dream fight doesn't count as a death. The problem would be just the time. And that would be if I fight like dream bosses. Just the warrior graves would actually kill me if I die. Also, you may have just heard a cat yowling at me from outside my room. That was Lily. She's been very chatty lately. I was wondering if she'd actually stay in my room and accompany me while I did this. So, you know, it'd be... But I wouldn't mind that. It'd be nice to have someone to converse with in person. I'm sure she would have some very strong opinions on my gameplay and such. She's generally a rather, she seems to be a very opinionated cat. I think that's at least I like to attribute that a good chunk of that to her age. I think she just doesn't care anymore. Because she's in her our cats are like in their mid-teens now. I like to say that they don't have to care what people think now. They can just do whatever. They'll just say whatever they want. Hello, Lem. We're gonna sell stuff. Oh yeah, sell our whopping 2 Hallownest seals. Well, so far, I feel like I've actually remembered how to do some stuff. I don't think I'm in danger of dying to anything too dumb at the moment. I may have just jinxed myself, but we'll see. I think I have figured out, or at least gotten an idea of, so I know I've mentioned wanting to do Hollow Knight randomizers sometimes. I might actually occasionally, I'm thinking I might occasionally replace the Steel Soul attempts with randomizer runs. If I'm just like not feeling, if I'm just like start feeling kind of burned out on Steel Soul for a bit. But hopefully, I think only doing it once a week will help reduce the likelihood of that happening. But still, if I could see myself potentially getting demoralized if I actually do start performing really poorly. Or alternatively, I'm doing really well for a while and then just die like right at the end. That would really suck. Oh, there's nothing useful here. don't think there's anything useful up here. Okay, where are you storing those nail lances, dude? Do I even want to know? You know, I'm honestly not certain why I came this way. I don't think I needed to. I don't think I did, but you should all know by now that my memory is not the greatest. Regardless, I think we're actually... Oh, we might as well get the scrub. Hello, Lily. Lily, you can come in. I know I have the door mostly closed, but I left it open partially so you could come in if you wanted to. She's probably gonna be like, well, how about... No, how about I just yell at you from outside instead? Instead of taking you up on your offer to let me in anyway, I'm just gonna stay out here. So cats are good at anything, it is being obstinate. Oh, hi! You heard me talking about you, didn't you? Hold on. Can you meow when I'm not talking so I can see, and I'm looking at my mixer so I can see if you show up on the mic? Of course, she meows as soon as I turn my head away to glance at her, so I don't see if the mic picked her up. Really? Okay, I don't think she's coming through. Be too quiet on my mic. In fact, I don't know if they can hear me while I'm turned away. Okay, so I just had to pet the cat for a second there. Any cat owners watching, you know how it is. I don't know if you actually could have were hearing me there, turned away from the mic like that, because I haven't actually tested to see how much I can be heard when I'm not actually right in front of the mic. I know that like over Discord and like Discord calls with friends, this mic that I'm using picks up quite a bit, but obviously on Discord you don't have the noise gate and filters and other filters. There we go. And now we got a shortcut open. Oh, whoops. Think. I screwed that up. Was it fire? Yes. Now if I can just there we go. I can just stop falling off these platforms like an absolute idiot. Ah, here we go. Simple key. Let's go. Hold on a sec. Alright. Here. Oh, just the whispering root that we can't get to do anything with yet. I wonder what the point of the spikes on the roof are. I mean, there are a bunch of little flying bird-like bugs, so maybe they're like anti-bird spikes. Or, you know, given the Pale King's design sense, it could just be his taste. It could very well just be him being like, you know what would be really cool to have on, like, as many buildings as I can manage in the city? Death traps. This man loved his death traps. Alright, coming up on 3,000 geo. Should have enough for just about anything we'll need for a little bit. Especially once we get through Soul Sanctum. I think I have done a bit of Stag Station traveling. Yeah, I got Queen's Station. I'll try getting stuff from Dirtmouth. I don't know that I need anything. I might actually put off a trip to Slice until I've gone to Crystal Peak. Because then I can get his key. And that'll let me get more stuff. And I believe it should let me get a full mask from him too. Which will be quite nice to have. Goodbye, Zote. Not gonna talk to you. Sorry, Cornifer. I've gone this far without maps so far. Oh. You know, it helps if you, your spells are more effective if you face the right way while you cast them. Anyway, as I was about to say to Cornifer, I've gotten this far so in this run as, pretty much purely off of memory from previous playthroughs and intuition. Honestly, more intuition than actual knowledge, I think. Can't go that way, that's through the collector. Don't have the key for that. Yeah. So, I noticed the spells that, like, the Soul Twisters, Warrior, and Soul Master use, they've all got that, they've all got kind of, they're actually mostly orange with the white edges. And I'd have to guess that that's, something to do with them being infected while they're using the spells. Because the knight's spells are all just white. Just pure soul until you start getting the upgraded spells where they start including void. And for, I think, every one of them except Shade Soul, they actually have both void and soul. And there's an unused, and I believe there's actually an unused animation for Shade Soul that shows the Vengeful Spirit along with the white Vengeful Spirit along with it. You know, not to get anyone's hopes up, but kind of wonder if there's what kinds of are there going to be any magic mechanics in Silksong? Is there going to be anything relating to soul there? Is House Hornet going to heal herself, or is she even going to have any sort of regen ability? Whoops, that was bad. think this is the fight that actually killed me in a previous attempt. But hey, 3 vengeful spirits. At them when they're right on top of each other. Does the job, evidently. I'd be half tempted to equip... I mean, I am half tempted to equip Mark of Pride, despite the fact that it'll overcharm me. But I don't... That would mean I'm getting 3-shot by everything. Which, that's a risk I don't think I'm willing to take. Okay, come on, buddy. Don't have all day. But I really don't have all day, because while I'm not as pressed for time as one of last week's streams, I am a little tight just because of work and how I can't really be up too late when, you know, you're going in at 5. I'm getting up a little bit after 4:30, and like I like to get some sleep. So I'm planning to go through this till about 9 or so. So I originally had this scheduled for 7, but then I got a little distracted playing Slay the Spire. In my defense, though, I was having a really good defect run and actually went all the way to the end with it. So now I have all the beta card art, which is what I wanted. Like, I wanted that more than... I wanted all the beta card art more than I want to, like, get even a single Ascension 20 victory. He teleported right into the second hit. I get wrecked, Soul Master. So yeah, I got distracted, delayed this by 15 minutes. So yeah, gonna be a little less than 2 hours. But I think for work days, it seems like 7-ish is gonna be a good start time for me. It's like, yeah, this is my 3rd week of keeping up this routine, but you know, still kind of figuring some things out. I gotta figure these things out sometime, right? So that's actually something. I think that's the most consistent tip for growth that I've seen in regards to producing pretty much any content online, is to be consistent about it. And now we have Desolate Dive. Let's go. Now, get out of the city. I love the little setup they do here. Is there anything up here for us, though? It's the soul... Oh. I think you can actually dream nail some of these background corpses. Of course, in this run we're not gonna really be coming back to test that out. So we got better things to be doing. Here. Alanessasil. More money. Sorry, Grub. Something I'm definitely going to need to remember is that Desolate Dive does give iframes I feel like that's there's a good chance that that's something I might have to rely on in some fights to get just that extra little bit of wiggle room. I don't know why I was hitting that other than for the sheer satisfaction. Which, you know, I like to think that's a reasonably valid explanation. Can we drop down? No, I'm just not gonna fight these guys. Just not gonna bother. Why should I? I got what I came for. We're just gonna leave. Screw you, Soul Twisters. It occurs to me that I could just be totally misnaming those guys, but I'm pretty sure they're Soul Twisters. Not even gonna pay for that bench, don't need it. Oh, Zote, you're still here? You know, really, it's a wonder that Zote gets around much of anywhere here. I feel like it's gotta just be pure dumb luck. Kind of wonder, you think any of the other NPCs have ever bailed him out? Because you can bail him out a couple times, and I mean you have to or he dies, but you're able to. I wonder if any of the other NPCs have the pleasure of meeting him. Any of the other more adventurous NPCs in particular. So I know obviously there's Bretta, but I've just forgotten where the Stag Station is. Totally. You're not going to lance me. Okay. We're out. Awesome. I'm gonna just rest. Just for a moment. Alright. So. To the Crystal Peak. We're gonna go from here, hit the Forgotten Crossroads, and down we'll go. Hello, Tiso. Goodbye, Tiso. Yeah, we're just gonna ignore Sly for the moment. We don't need to go this way. We need to go down a bit first, I think. No, let's just get some Geo. Actually, can't go. Yeah, we do go this way. Guess I could go see the Grubfather. You need to, though. You don't need to do anything at the Temple of the Black Egg. That's for much later. Oh, how I wish Vengeful Spirit traveled more than the screen so I could just kill all those guys with one spell. Get the feeling that that probably would not be intended. I've totally forgot that I needed to go down. For some reason I thought the downward way was a dead end, but hey, we got a grub out of the deal. It only costs us 2 heals. Hello, Mila. Just not gonna talk to you to save myself the suffering. Because I am already cursed with the knowledge of what happens to you regardless, so... And here we are. Crystal Peak. Not even given the title a chance to fade. Given the title a chance to fade in. It's amazing that a few quick nail strikes will just kill those big shelled things with all the crystals growing out of them. You know, I thought I would think they'd be tougher, but they're not. Suppose we could have bought the Lumafly lantern from Sly, because there is at least one or two dark sections. But I don't think we don't need to go to the dark sections yet. I don't know that we ever do, actually, for the purposes of just completion. It's like, I'm not exactly going for low percent, but I am going for any percent completion. I don't care what ending I get, as long as I get one. So where are the miners getting all their pickaxes to throw at me? Yes, in case anyone's wondering, I do genuinely ask these kinds of logistical questions that are utterly inconsequential about games fairly often. This is just kind of how I am. I am not, in fact, putting on a show for the camera. Ask any of my real-world friends, and they'll tell you that I am, in fact, just kinda like that, for better or worse. Hey, there's one of those dark spots that I said we didn't need to go to, so we're not gonna go to that, and I'm going to hope that what I said holds true, and that I'm not just completely forgetting something. Hope you're not gonna kill me. No, I haven't actually, figured out quite yet what I'm going to, play for my backlog game, this week. And I mean, I'm kind of coming at this with the same mentality, with a similar mentality that got me through, honestly, too many school assignments. It's not due imminently, so I can do it later. So far, the ones that I've played, I've enjoyed. I've got a few things in mind. I don't know that there are... I'm not sure how many of those on the list that I'm gonna... If there's quite as many of them, if there are that many on the list that I'm going to be looking forward to. Quite as much as I was honestly looking forward to trying Fury. Just based on the things that I'd heard about it. Something here, and I don't remember what. This is just the... Oh yeah, we need the Crystal Heart for that. Which we're working our way towards. Oof. So curious if the lasers were just an occupational hazard of the mines. Anyway, backlog games. I was really looking forward to Fury because I enjoy action games a lot. I had heard that it was difficult, and I do relish a good challenge. Especially if it's generally a fair one. And I feel that Fury is generally pretty fair, and from what I played at least, it was honestly more forgiving, kind of more forgiving than I expected it to be. Something I definitely want to play more of. Not sure exactly when. It's a strong contender for an ongoing series if I can fit in a fourth consistent streaming day into the schedule. So that's a distinct possibility. Albeit not one I would call likely at the moment. But still possible nonetheless. Here we are. The Crystal Heart. For now, though, I don't know. Maybe if I get tired of doing a backlog game, if I just get kind of burned out from doing a backlog game every week, which I could see doing if I find like a string of ones I don't care for and happen to play them all like 3 weeks, play them like 3 weeks running. Since I get the sense that Fury is kind of a shorter game, from what I know about it, it's shorter at least. It could be something I might do after Devil May Cry, after 4. So I just started that as well, and that is one I'm having a ton of fun with. And it's an interesting perspective coming back to that after DMC 5. Because 5 is my introduction to Devil May Cry. I pretty much picked it up because I thought, hey, this isn't quite a Platinum style character action spectacle game, but it's, you know, kind of in the same ballpark. And while it's not, it has like a different, I find it has like a different kind of over-the-top absurdity that, compared to the one Platinum character action game that I've gotten, one of the main one that I got into, because I've played 2. Yeah, I'm very experienced with these things. Metal Gear Rising, which is just so wonderfully over the top in so many ways. It's like I found that DMC doesn't quite reach the same, I feel that it doesn't quite reach the same heights of utter absurdity, or sheer massive spectacle in some of the boss fights, but it's still dang good. I've only played through after the special edition released and got the and you could buy the DLC for the PC version to get to unlock Virgil's campaign. I just streamed that. Maybe someday I'll play through the rest of the game on the channel. I would definitely consider it. But that would probably be something for after I played the other Devil May Cry games. I want the charm. And it'll give me access to more stuff from Salubra. It'll work me towards that at least. I think this is just deep focus, which I don't really need. But it might actually be kind of cool to have, honestly. Especially if I can get it for, I can pull the combo with quick focus for 2 mask healing in the normal cast time for focus. it wouldn't be super useful, and it would be very expensive on notches, and I don't know that I'm ever going to actually have the notches for it, honestly. But, who knows? Anyway, I would definitely give some consideration playing DMC5. Shit. Well, there's attempt number 6 done. Existence is suffering. Hold on a moment. Okay. Here we go again. Killed by one of the flippin' lasered things in Crystal Peak. So I got sloppy. Okay, well, this one's getting too angry over it. Gotta keep moving. So I think it's, on the topic of the DMC games, I think it's probably not advisable to play them in, play the main series in reverse order. But it'll also... I feel like I'll still get a sense for the evolution of the games. It'll be interesting to see. Might give me a bit of a different perspective about what mechanics got dropped and which ones were kept. That was some smooth Life Seed collection there. I also just lost a Lifeblood Mask after that, but... my goal for this run, I think, is gonna be to, get to where I was at the beginning of this stream in less time than it took me. So less than 55 minutes to beat Mantis Lords. So that means Gru's Mother and False Knight need to go down fast. And then don't get lost in the fungal wastes. Sorry, Elder Bug. Don't have time. I am a bug on a mission. So since this Geo is right here, we're just going to grab it. I'm making a conscious effort to avoid more enemies. I say as I kill something I probably didn't need to kill. It's something I'm going to need to... It's going to take effort for me. Like... Part of my mind says this should be easy. It's, in concept, one of the simplest things, but also it just goes against everything I've learned and taught myself while playing the game. So I need to remind myself to that no, it's not always as that it may be simple in concept. The execution is often much more difficult than it appears. It's like with that one thing that I killed, I was like, I hit it once and like I could have gone away, but I was thinking like, it's one more hit. It's one more hit. kill it, I get a little bit of Geo. Okay. Like, I've gotta kind of get my head into a different space, start thinking more like a speedrunner, more about little optimizations, time losses, and time saves. Because if I save half a second by just not dealing with a particular enemy, like even just like half a second, that'll add up over time. If I do that for a dozen enemies, that shaves a few seconds off my time. If Cornifer even noticed me pass by. Of course, sometimes you get these old challenge rooms that you can't avoid a fight. No pacifist runs in Hollow Knight, unfortunately. That'd be quite something, though. Wonder how few enemies you can kill while still beating the game. I figure most of the normal enemies can just be avoided. There's not... I don't know exactly how many mandatory bosses there are, but I don't think there are that many that are mandatory for story progression, but there are others that I think would be... that are in the way. What? Argo taking dumb damage. Anyway, I'll keep going on tangents from my tangents. So yeah, I think it'll be my decision to play Devil May Cry backwards is largely based on me just not wanting to immediately kind of jump into the deep end, which is what I feel playing going from 5 and then starting back at 1 would be, because it's going back to what the games were at the series inception, and like, yeah, I'll get to see how it was originally, how it was in the olden days, but how far removed is that going to be from what I'm familiar with? Like, I felt like it was probably a reasonable assumption to make that 4 would be slightly less removed, at least. And so far, that assumption has proven correct. It also helps that in DMC5, Nero is my favorite character to play. So, hey, whole game where you spend the early part of the story, at least, playing him? Cool. I have no idea when I'll start playing as Dante, but I'm sure that'll be fun too. I've just, I have not bothered yet to get good enough to actually really use him. Anytime I played him in 5, I would still get, I would get good ranks by just kind of, by not totally randomly, but somewhat randomly switching weapons and barely changing styles. Like, watching my Dante gameplay would probably make any hardcore, would probably make like a hardcore DMC fan, would probably just make them physically ill. But hey, I never professed to be a pro. I'm just someone who enjoys the games. Like, I do like action games. I like to think I'm pretty decent at them, not great. But, like, I can do well on, I tend to be able to do well on higher difficulties. Like, it took me a while, but I did eventually finish a Metal Gear Rising playthrough on Revengeance difficulty. And the worst part of that was honestly the final boss fight, because I went in with little in the way of healing, and the damage you take is high enough that if you do go get dropped to 0 and then revived by one of your heals, it'll only heal you enough for you to take one more hit. So while it didn't quite demand totally perfect play, it was somewhat close. I'm glad it didn't demand perfect play, because that would have sucked. More specifically related to Devil May Cry, I haven't actually played anything higher than 5's Son of Sparta difficulty. And like, I say that I like to think that I'm pretty decent at action games. Though I'm not by any means amazing, and like I haven't like, I love the Neo games, but I've not done some of the crazy stuff I've seen people do in Neo 2, where they're like doing like naked speed runs of late game bosses with +9 penance stones on Dream of the Neo. And I'm over here like, you know, I just finished like my first playthrough and started some of the second. I'm just gonna be content with what I've got over here for a little while, I think. Even though from what I have played of like the second difficulty in Neo and Neo 2, it's not that bad. But I do actually have a full Neo 2 playthrough that I intend to eventually post here. The thing that what I want to do with it though is make it like a whole scripted and edited thing. That, of course, takes time. So, here we're gonna get our spell. Time that I've not yet taken. And I really ought to, because I've got so many video files sitting on my desktop, taking up space. I checked, like, recently, like a few weeks ago, I was messing around with my games I had installed and stuff, partially because I had of my plans to work through my backlog. I went to clear out other stuff, to clear out other junk and stuff to clear space on my hard drive, and found that I have like 90 gigs of video. And I'm sure a lot of that is from hours and hours of Neo 2. So yeah, there's that. But luckily I was able to cut out a bunch of stuff to leave me a good amount of space. I think I've got like 130 gigs or something on my hard drive open. And it's out of a terabyte hard drive. I need to remind myself another reason not to bother fighting everything early on is that you have to go out of your way to get the Geo. So if I must fight more things, if I must fight unnecessary enemies, it might as well be uh, after I've already picked up Gathering Swarm, so I don't lose out on the money. Of course, from what I've noticed, Geo caches and bosses are my are my biggest sources. Are probably my biggest sources of money. Anyway, yeah. Now that I was able to get more space for stuff, and it helps that a lot of the games in my backlog are smaller ones. Like, Downwell is absolutely, like, it is tiny. It is an extremely small game. Pretty sure it took less than a minute to install. And I say that because I think it took a matter of seconds, but I don't remember exactly how many. I'm just going with that to cover my bases. Fury was bigger. Not by that much, though. It was a few gigs, but it didn't take long. It's nothing like if I like get a wild hair to play Dark Souls 2 or 3 again soon, I'm gonna have to dedicate significantly more space for those. We're actually gonna rest and then hit up Sly. Yeah, I want your stuff. Give me the Gathering Swarm. Thank you. Put that on. There we have our charms. And I'm sure that someone's gonna see this. At some point, I'm probably gonna draw the ire of someone just by saying that I'm using a hard drive. Yes, I don't have an SSD, but I do definitely want to upgrade my computer at some point. Thing is, I'm not sure how much I actually can upgrade with what I've got, how much I can upgrade before I just need to start, or if I just need to get something brand new. I'm currently leaning towards just straight up making a new machine or getting a, or finding a decent pre-built, if only and maybe getting some other parts so I can cannibalize everything I can from that to make a Frankenstein machine for myself. I'm gonna heal up here real quick. Hold on a moment. I don't even know if my mic picked up that yawn, but whatever. Anyway, I definitely do want to get better PC sometime in the relatively near future. Thankfully, though, I am going to have. I've also got some other purchases I want to make in the near future, but for now, that's going to be in the future. That's probably at least a couple months out. So right now I'm just working on getting, on just dealing with student loans, and once I've dealt with those, which will be close to the end of this month, I'm not going to have a ton of money left. But I should within, I'll be able to get one of the things I want to get for one of my, New Year's goals, actually. fairly soon after that, and it actually wouldn't be that long, probably not more than about 6 weeks or so, until I would have the cash to get a new PC. Whether that's by building one totally of my own, or going with the pre-built method, or whatever. I'm going to need to do more research on what I currently have to see just how much is actually, like, salvageable. But when I do upgrade, fear not, fellow PC enthusiasts, I do intend to get an SSD. Not sure how much I'm actually going to have on one. It probably depends on how much I want to spend and how much space I can get for that. But I'm at least going to have the operating system, of course. But if I, like, ideally I would really like to try, if enough of it is salvageable for this purpose, I'd like to try, like, dual PC streaming, just to see how it actually works. Because I think I've got just about everything I need set up for it, except obviously the second PC. I'll have to put some thought into whether it's even worth it. With what I've got right now, I'm not sure how much other use, once I've upgraded, I'm not sure how much use I'd get out of what I have right now. Especially if I do end up going with the pre-built. Because honestly, in tech terms, my stuff is kind of ancient. Don't have the exact specs on hand to let everyone who sees this laugh at me. But you know, maybe I'll write those down for next time. Yeah, there's this lifeblood cocoon here. Thank you, little butterfly plant, moth plant. Oops. I think I just lost a life seed. Oh well. One lifeblood mask is better than none. This is where we fight a moss knight. Yeah, we were real tough. I do wonder if there's any significance to them having similar movesets to, like, the city guards, or if it's just asset reuse. Kind of see it being either, but who knows? We don't need to save Zote, but we're going to anyway. I totally missed 2 vengeful spirits there. Nice. Okay, come on. Thank you. Ooh. Hello, little vengefly. I'm going to kill your, I don't know. Just like, I don't know, is the Vengefly King, is that like a parent, or just a leader of the pack, or colony in this case, I guess, because, you know, bugs. Or what? What is the precise relationship of a Vengefly King to the Vengeflies? Something kind of confusing about Hollow Knight here is how, you know, some bugs are sapient, but others don't appear to be. What's the delineation here? Like, are Vengeflies actual, like, thinking, feeling people, or are they basically animals? I'm kind of inclined to think that they're probably ones that are among the set of bugs in game that are basically just animals. We can't be totally sure. Maybe they have their own monarchy and the Vengefly Kings are their rulers. Hello, Hornet. Ooh, nice try. I can't wait for Silksong to see just how well they translate Hornet's boss moveset into gameplay. So if they can do that well, it would be really cool. Ooh. You tried. Alright, Mothwing Cloak. So it wasn't until I actually, I've kind of vaguely wanted to do some PC upgrades for a while, but during the time I was unemployed, obviously, I wasn't really thinking that hard about it, because, you know, not making any money, it's kind of hard to justify spending potentially a couple $1,000. But when you have some income, even if it's nothing amazing, becomes a lot easier to justify dropping a couple $1,000s on something when that's like, okay, that's depending on how much you're working, that could be just a month or so of pay. And yeah, someone would be able to, I'm sure if anyone who was of a mind to, they could figure out how much I'm making roughly based on that. But like, since I am lucky enough to not have really any expenses at the moment, I'm pretty much free to do what I want with my money, and I largely save anyway. I don't spend all that much anyway. And like, I know my family would not begrudge me PC upgrades because they know how much I've mentioned that I want to get upgrades at some point in the relatively near future to them before and beyond them just not really being too worried about what I do with my money. They also are quite understanding about that gaming is like my primary hobby, and particularly on PC. You know, it's important to take time to do fun stuff. It's important to sometimes invest in your hobbies and things that make you happy. There's no sense in just grinding away for eternity. my favorite way of thinking about it is that you should be, is that I'm working to, working to live, not living to work. Like, it's might seem kind of odd talking about things like this, especially when I've brought up multiple times that I very much like the idea of making money from streaming, which in a strict sense would turn this into work. Though I really don't think it would feel that way. Because I do enjoy, it's like, I like this, even, like, even if I had absolutely, even with no audience whatsoever, it's also, it can be, I found it can be surprisingly enjoyable just to kind of talk while playing, just kind of rambling on. You know, if I could, I can make something out of that too, that would be better. Oh, you bastard, not killing me. He's stuck on the corner. Eh. Okay, I gotta take him off the field. Okay. I don't have Mantis Claw. Alright, that's where the hunter is, I think. Need to go talk to you. Am I going the right way? I think so. Whoops. Oh, okay. Puts me out here. Ouch. Ouch. Get him. Need to slow down. I'm getting sloppy. That'll get me killed. And I will be tilted. The rest of my time I'm streaming this. Oh, not that. I think it would be, like, yeah, since this is something that I would like to, that I think it would be interesting to be able to do, as a job in addition to hobbies, it of course only makes sense to invest, as it makes sense from that perspective to invest as well. I don't think I'm going the right way. Go down more. But yeah, I'm still, I know, of course, that, I could have the best, setup around, and that wouldn't necessarily get me anywhere as any sort of content creator. There's no point in having the best tools if you have no idea how to use them, right? That's a big part of why I'm gonna keep at this as much as I can feasibly manage. So what better way to learn than by doing and by very likely failing repeatedly? notice that a lot of that I tend to circle back around to this topic and a lot of these especially in the Hollow Knight streams where I don't have a whole lot to talk about with the game specifically a lot of the time. And on one hand, I feel kind of bad about it. On the other hand, I don't know how it would be received, but man, I enjoy talking about stuff like this. I like the kind of meta commentary. I really do like the reflection, the reflection and introspection. I enjoy doing it, and I think it's interesting to hear other people doing it too, but you don't really, I don't know of many, if any, like streamers and other creators that go meta much, if at all. And I can see that it probably doesn't have the most broad appeal. There's probably not a huge market for people that want for streamers that introspect a lot and think and talk a lot about why they're doing what they do. Though that's who knows, maybe it's an untapped market, and regardless, that's like a significant part of my motivation for wanting to do this is also so that once I work up the nerve to actually do it, to like get involved with more communities of with more communities, especially of like other creators, try to get some insight from them into why they create, why they make the things they do, stuff like that. Because I've you know, everyone has that phase in childhood where every single question, where you're asking all sorts of questions and every one of them is followed up with why. I kind of get the feeling that I'm not sure I ever quite grew out of that, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a kind of curiosity that I think a lot of people honestly could do with more of. I don't think there's anything... I at least think that there's not really anything harmful in knowing the why of someone doing something. Knowing what motivates them. It could potentially, depending on who it is and what you're learning, I could see it potentially hurting. But that gets into, like, you know, how people always say never meet your heroes, but if I'm gonna be dead honest, if I'm gonna be completely dead honest, to me that's just kind of rank cowardice. It's like, are you so you're really so afraid that that this person you idolize isn't going to be is going to prove to be so different that they're not going to be worthy of the pedestal you've put them on, that you're just going to remain in denial about the possibility? You're really just going to avoid that? I mean, like, yeah, the truth is often uncomfortable, it can hurt at times. But the thing is, it's still, regardless of whether you know it or not, it is true. And, like, to me, from my perspective, I would much rather know than... I think it's worse to not know and have to constantly wonder, is this person the way they appear? Or are they... or is it all an act? Like, what are they... if you take never meeting your heroes to that extent, then this, you know, honestly, this probably speaks more to my thought patterns than anything else. But from my perspective, if I'm wondering, if I ever wonder if someone I look up to is really who they say they are, I don't want to... I want to find out, for sure. I want to get an answer. I don't want to... maybe a part of me probably would want to just, ignore the possibility that they're different, that they are not who they say they are entirely. But I can't. I don't think I'm able to ignore the possibility. And I can't, like, shut down the... or... not shut down, but shut up the part of my mind that wants to know the why. That wants to know the truth, regardless. Goodbye, Lily. Gotten tired of me, I guess. That, or mom or dad is, like, getting ready to feed them or something. But it would be really early for them, I think. They don't really get fed late, but then again, parents are out earlier now, so they may very well be feeding the cats earlier too. Yeah, no, I only mentioned Lily, but I keep saying cats plural, because our other cat is Shamrock, but she doesn't hang out in my room much. The most she tends to come in is she sometimes will come over and, like, stand in the doorway. I don't know that she's ever, like, actually come into my room, though. And my family, we're all pretty sure that it's because she knows that I am Lily's person, and that thus this is Lily's domain, and she just lets me... this is Lily's room, and she lets me sleep here. We figured, like, she's almost certainly, like, she's almost certainly got, like, marked the area just to make sure that her sister knows when she's stepping into her space. And it's honestly kind of funny to see, because she will, like, stand right in the doorway and will not set a paw inside. Anyway, getting distracted by cats. That's probably something relatable to a lot of people. I know it's something that happens to me a lot. But yeah, it's like, I don't think I could shut off the part of my brain that wants to know why, that wants to know the truth, regardless of potential for harm to myself. Something I've learned throughout my life is that even if the truth hurts in the short term, and sometimes it hurts a lot, it's still better in the long term. It's like I would rather deal with the pain of a certain truth than the fleeting comfort of uncertainty. Because, yeah, if you're not sure about something, you might, things could be better than you're expecting. Things could be better than you're expecting. In this case that we're talking about, the person, this person you idolize could be exactly who they present themselves to be. They could be even better, potentially. But you also can't discount the possibility that they are significantly worse. And, like, to me, in my mind, that uncertainty is kind of... That uncertainty is anxiety-inducing. And, like, I would find myself second-guessing constantly, like, okay, how much of this is genuine and how much of this is just a PR? How much of this is an attempt to keep up a particular image, and how much of it is this person's genuine personality? How much is what is their authentic self? Have I even known at all? Like, to that end, like, knowing how I feel about that, that's why I know I've said in a previous Hollow Knight stream, actually, that I wouldn't want to... That, regardless of how popular it could... Like, if in theory, if someone told me that if I totally changed how I presented myself, if I presented myself totally differently, and I could be, like... If I could, and I could, like, be... I could make it big instantly, I wouldn't really want to do it. And a part of this also because, like, is because I'm just, in some ways, I am stubborn and prideful and want to do things my way. But I also know that I am not the only person who thinks the way I've been describing. I'm not the only person like this, and I would be hurting those people that are like myself. And who knows how many others besides if I were to let the mask slip at some point. Okay, let's see how much I have to focus for Mantis Lords. It's like, I wouldn't, it's like, I would want to be the kind of, like, if I'm gonna make it online, if I'm gonna make it doing stuff like this, I want it to be the kind of stuff I like doing. It's also like why I am reluctant to... a part of me is really balks at the idea of search engine optimization and trying to kind of play the YouTube algorithm. Because, like, I don't want to, I don't want to, feel like I've, kind of don't want, that's where the pride comes in. I don't want to make it by gaming, gaming the system. I don't want to, I don't want to be a trend chaser. And I don't want to be someone who just gamed the system. I want to make it on my own merits. If I'm gonna get popular, I want it to be because people like me and what I do. Not because I know the right things to say to make, to trick YouTube into promoting my stuff to get more people watching, and knowing what to say to get what to say that will have the greatest chance of getting the most people to stick around. But, like, you know, I've got to, that's, like I said, it's a pride thing, largely. Like, some of it is just genuine, principle. It's like, ideally, this would be, like, the, internet landscape, the, content creation landscape here would be, meritocratic, I think, where, at least in my mind, where everyone with access to the same tools and everyone with access to the same sets of tools and resources can, has the potential to make it by doing what they do best, doing their own thing. And where they can be, where they'd be, or you would, your channel would live and die by your skills and personality, and not based on, rather than being based on, putting in the right, how do I say this? And not like, getting the, not just on making the, like, best thumbnails and or making the most effective, not necessarily best, most effective for gaining attention thumbnails, and titles and other sorts of metadata, and figuring out what tags you can use to get promoted faster, whether they're actually relevant or not. Because there's also that element of, like, there is a part of my head that tells me that there's kind of an element of that makes me feel like there's an element of dishonesty to some parts of like SEO. And like that's the thing that's probably what it all boils down to, really, is that I don't want to be dishonest. I don't want to feel like I'm presenting what I'm making as something that it is not. And like, I don't want to be dishonest with others, and I also don't want to be dishonest with myself. And that does kind of relate to, I can relate this back to the never meet your heroes thing, where like, I would want to know, because it's like, honesty is something that I value very, very highly in myself and in everyone in general, in people in general. So I would want to know if someone I look up to is presenting themselves honestly, how honestly they're presenting themselves, because if their whole image is a lie, then I'd rather know that that's the kind of person they are, that they're really not worthy of my respect. Like, I'd rather know that than be duped for any longer. Because there are few things I think they're not, yeah, there really aren't many types of people I dislike more than just deceitful people. And that's part of why I shy away from SEO type stuff, because I don't want to. I feel like sometimes I get the impression that that's almost what you have to do. But this is just an outside perspective, of course. I don't think it's totally right. I'm sure you can. I am dead certain that you can, that there are plenty of people out there that are using all the SEO tactics to like BS their content into a good position, whether they should have it or not, whether they're without being honest about it, and like not presenting their, like, are deceptively marketing their stuff. Like, I guess that's the kind of stuff that just kind of like really colors my perception, which is, there's really no other way to put it. That is a limitation of my perspective, and one that I am trying to get past. I guess I could sum it up as, like, I'm afraid of, it's like, when I think about it logically, and I don't really think I'm at any great risk of selling out, but I also don't want to feel like I've sold out. But I know I'm gonna have to make some, but if I'm really serious about wanting to take this channel somewhere, I need to make some concessions. I need to be willing to, sell myself a bit, and like that's something that, man, the whole concept of selling yourself is something that I still have strange feelings about. It was like being told that was, I never liked hearing that with regards to like interviewing for jobs and such, that you need to sell yourself, because to me, what I heard when people said you need to sell yourself is you need to what I was hearing when people said that was you can't just be straightforward and honest with your abilities and your accomplishments. You have to, it's like, whether this was what was actually being said or not, this is what I was hearing. was that you have to, you need to inflate your accomplishments and downplay your shortcomings. You need to, and like that does not sit right with me, and it's taken me a long while to determine that that is not necessarily what that has to be. I'm sure for some it is. That is what selling yourself is. But it took me a while to learn that you could just as easily frame it as it's like it's kind of just a matter of perspective of framing. That like I don't have to be dishonest. But I can but I'd benefit from, how to put this, I guess being more forthcoming about about the positives than the negatives, and figuring out how you could spin a negative into something more positive without necessarily trying to negate the fact that a weakness that you have is in fact a weakness, but more so like in that you like being more becoming more aware of ways in which your perceived flaws and weaknesses can work to your advantage in some situations, and also like making sure to make note of what you're doing to work, what you can do, and what you are doing, what you intend to do to work on those weak points. And like it's part of why I think part of these kinds of worries and fears and such, along with the pride aspect, is part of why I haven't really gone deep into SEO stuff yet. I mean, these streams are the most effort by far I have ever put into thumbnails. This is the closest I have gotten to SEO optimization. But like, I'm gonna need to really start putting in. I'm gonna need to be putting in more work. I'm gonna need to. Most importantly, I think I'm gonna need to start building a social media presence, if I can speak. And that's something that doesn't sit well with me for other reasons entirely, just because, you know, I think social media in general is a blight on society, and in many ways we would probably be better off without it in general. And I know this is not an unpopular take, even among people that are among people that are terminally online, and I wouldn't quite count myself as terminally online, for the record. I am close, but not quite there, I don't think. But like, I need to really remember that building a, like, that's the, like, social media is going to just, using social media is going to have to be that's one of the concessions I'm going to have to make. But I just need to, like, kind of keep reminding myself that that's a concession, that using it is a concession I have to make, that's doing something I really don't enjoy, to get me to where I want to go. Yeah. What doesn't have to be one of the concessions I make is I don't have to, I don't need to present myself dishonestly to establish a presence. It's like I don't need to change myself to try to... I don't need to change myself or what I would want to do to just to get all those precious clicks on my stuff. Like, I think this is, if nothing else, if no one else gets anything of value out of all this meta talk, I think it is, if nothing else, it is helping me. It's helpful for my own purposes. Because when I get these thoughts out of my head, I'm more likely to actually start putting them into practice. So there's something I can keep in mind for both for tomorrow, since it's an off day, a streaming off day. I'll have some things I can get ideas for some things I can look at, or some types of things I can look at, and of course, if I keeping up my current schedule, I have a few days off, couple consecutive days off streaming in after my Saturdays, which gives me ample time to really look more deeply into what kinds of things I can do and start at least laying the groundwork, if not moving to start building up, like, the presence that I want to get to, that I would like to build. Hold on, gotta stretch. So I think this is gonna be it for this. I've gone a few minutes over the time I kind of wanted to, but it's not that big a deal. I made it to the City of Tears. I'm gonna have to check the like the VOD if I want to get the timing for when I beat Mantis Lords, or for when I got to the point I was at from the beginning. But I think we did make better time, even with some distractions and getting sidetracked. I'm actually, so I just rested, saved. I'm going to check the menu, see what my time is on the file. 1 hour, 6 minutes. Okay. That is not bad at all for having everything I want to do in the City of Tears before pre-Soul Sanctum done. So yeah, I'm not going to go over the whole plan for the next Hollow Knight stream because, you know, we've been through this before. Been through this whole song and dance all the way up to Broken Vessel a couple times now. So I'm just not going to bother with it. Thursday, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be a backlog game. Don't know what yet. I'm going to have to look through the list again. I don't really have any particular candidates right now, but you know, I kind of alluded to how I handled a lot of school assignments, which is like, hey, my due date is 2 days away, so my due date's 2 days away, so I will at best do the assignment tomorrow, and at worst do the assignment like 10 minutes before it's due. But regardless, I'll get it done. I'll get it turned in. I will do it. Especially this, because this is fundamentally, it's just playing a game, recording it, and talking into a microphone, which is, you know, a lot more fun than just about anything I've done at any level of education. I say most things. There are exceptions. Some classes were particularly great, and I had great band experiences, as many of my real-world friends can tell you. Saturday is going to be more DMC5. Going to get 5 more missions in. I'm going to just keep doing the 5 missions per stream, I think. I suppose unless I ended up really pressed for time, potentially. Since I do have other things going on Saturday, including work and a D&D game, actually. But I'm not working on Sunday, so that means once I'm done with the game, with the D&D game, I can start streaming and potentially go for a long time if I really want to. Because I don't have anywhere to be. So I think that about covers things for this this week. I know I mentioned a while back that I wanted to get a video out on just as a sort of just like a shorter like an edited video out, kind of explaining the direction of this channel now, since I'm moving away from sporadic random bursts of content into like an actual definite schedule that I will keep as much as possible. That I do still intend to do it. It's just kind of on the back burner. I'm gonna need to give myself a deadline soon, so I will get to it. Because I know how I tend to work. I'm gonna need to do that at some point. But it's just not a top priority. It will get done though. Regardless of that, it'll be, for the moment, it's just going to be, I think it's going to be business as usual for the rest of the week. No idea. Who knows what future weeks might have in store. We'll see. It'll depend on a variety of factors. But for now, thank you for staying to this point. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me. Leave a like if you liked it. Leave a dislike if you don't feel like liking but still want to help my engagement. Leave comments to laugh at me for my rookie mistakes in gameplay, or if you would like to philosophize with me and did not have the chance to do so in the live chat, feel free to do so in comments. Subscribe if you want to see more, as usual. Because just the things that every YouTuber tells you to do. With that, once more, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you had a fun time with this. And I will see you. I think I might have cut off there. Sorry. See you next time.